And then there were 4. Detroit is headed to the NFC Championship game for the first time since 1991. The Lions will face the San Francisco 49ers with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. We're talking all about the divisional champs right here on Inside the Pride.
Let's go. Going down. Sack back at the 30-yard line. Aiden Hutchinson got him again. Goes deep downfield. Got a man wide open. Inside the 5. Caught. End zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. How about that?
And by the way, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. All roads go through Detroit.
This is Inside the Pride on the Lions TV network. I'm Dannie Rogers. No Detroit Lions team has won more games than Dan Campbell's squad. Win number 14 came in the divisional round Sunday in front of another electric Ford Field crowd. Let's relive the divisional round with the sights and sounds.
So here we go. Divisional round playoff game. Lions and Buccaneers. Never in the history of this franchise have the Lions had 2 home playoff games in the same season. As of today, they have.
You know, every play I need a f***ing dog, and you have your f***ing brothers back. We gonna dominate this.
Trying to make it 2 consecutive wins, too, and lock up a spot in the NFC Championship to take on the 49ers for the right to go to the Super Bowl.
Make them f***ing feel you today. Make them f***ing feel you. Oh, that we don't f***ing quit.
60 minutes of football against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. One, and only one, will earn the right to move on. What a beautiful sight it is to see what's happening inside of Ford Field. And here comes that crowd as the Tampa Bay offense comes out. There's the shotgun snap. Mayfield gonna get hit, gonna go down. Melifonwu with a blitz, got him.
Aaron Glenn, he isn't afraid to turn the pressure up. He isn't afraid to bring these blitzes.
Mayfield throws over the middle, knocked up in the air, intercepted. The Lions with a takeaway early in this one. They've got it in Bucs territory. Out will come Jared Goff in the offense. Goff back, drifting right, setting, throwing end zone, wide open, caught. Touchdown, Detroit Lions, Josh Reynolds. Big way to end the half for the Bucs with 15 seconds remaining. They find the end zone. So 10-10 our score as we've got 30 minutes of football left. Winner moves on to the NFC Championship game.
Now we want to see what this Lions offense can get going. Got to find a way to get the momentum back.
4th and goal from the 1. Offense stays on the field. Craig Reynolds, the single back. Goff turns, gives to Reynolds, straight ahead to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. 13, I see you. Lions Achilles heel. It has been the big plays in the passing game. Tampa Bay has come back to knot it up.
And not many possessions left in this game. Things are getting tight.
Goff turns, gives to Gibbs over the left side. There he goes inside the 30, inside the 25. Gibbs, speed, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions. And the Lions are back on top. Oh, this is where that crowd's going to get revved up. Jared back, Jared looks, Jared throws right side. It is caught. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
He's dropping dimes, nickels, quarters. Jared is dropping it all out there today.
Mayfield back, throws, end zone, caught, Evans, touchdown. Not over yet. 65,000 strong up and making noise. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Everybody up at Ford Field. Blitz comes, Mayfield back, loads, throws, picked up by the Lions, intercepted by the Lions, Derek Barnes! The Lions are going to San Francisco! Stand up, Ford Field, look at this!
Woo! San Fran, here we come, baby, here we come!
You guys are unbelievable, man. I'm telling you, we talked about it all year. This started a long time ago. You're built for this. You're built for this, man. And look what you guys did. You went out there and it's another hot team that we knocked off. It's the next hot team that you knock off. Do you know how hard it is to win this league in the playoffs? Do you understand what you're doing right now? What we're capable of? That's 2. All right, that's 2. We got 2 to go. With a bye in the middle. I'm unbelievably proud of everybody in here, man. Coaches, players. That's the way to mount up, man. That's a fucking difficult team to beat, man. All right, I got 1 game ball. man, in the game, need to f***ing play. Derek Barnes.
Hey, man, love y'all boys, man. From the support in the linebacker room, the coaches, staff, organization, offense, man. 3 years, man. It took me 3 years to get the first interception, but it means more because the people who believed in me. A lot of people didn't. The room, this ball, I got to give it to the linebacker room because I said we was gonna bring one back, and God, we did. And you got to believe how far we can go, man. Yes, sir. Believe it now. Believe it now. This is a good win. Enjoy it, man. This comes once in a lifetime. Like Alex used to tell me, man, a lot of people don't make it this far, but we did, man. I love everybody in this room, man. Everybody in here deserve it. That's why we here, like Coach said. Hey, man, time to prepare for San Fran.
One of the most selfless units for the Detroit Lions is the running backs room, which tacked on 2 touchdowns in Sunday's win over the Bucs. The leader of that room, assistant head coach Scottie Montgomery. He joins the show next. Inside the Pride is sponsored by Kroger, Henry Ford Health, and by the Ford Motor Company. Welcome back to Inside the Pride. This week, I'm joined by assistant head coach and running backs coach Scottie Montgomery. And coming into the season, the running backs room was dealt a clean slate. A new leader in you, coach. Then you've got 2 new backs in Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. What was the culture you wanted to set day one in that room?
Players first, player accountability, peer-to-peer accountability as much as anything. But then after that, once we set a standard and we knew what that standard was, it was up to everybody in the room to uphold that standard, not one guy.
What is the standard?
The standard, what it is every day that we come in, we want to make sure that we get better at every phase of the things that we're trying to do, whether that be, the mental part of the game or, running or protecting the quarterback, or at the end of the day, what type of teammate we could be, what type of coach I can be, what kind of player they could be for each other.
1,000 rushing yards through the postseason, 1,000 scrimmage yards later. Remember when Jahmyr Gibbs was tabbed as a reach draft pick?
When did that happen? Yeah, you can't avoid hearing sometimes the noise. It's one of the things I talked about is that, he's not gonna perform it sometimes the way that some people think that he should, and at other times he's gonna outperform that. So it's just basically keeping an even keel. He's done a really, really good job of that. He has performed at a high level, and I think he'll continue to do that as long as he understands that it's more about a next play mentality than worried about the last play.
The veteran leader that Ja gets to look up to, you mentioned it, is Montgomery. You used him to poke and prod at Ja a little bit, even back during training camp. What is different about the way Montgomery operates that he's having his best year yet, stat-wise, for the Lions?
The first thing is that relationship with the head coach. Sometimes people, downplay the importance of that, but that relationship he and Dan have been able to cultivate is strong. They're similar guys. After that, I think it's the coaches understanding his skill set, understanding that there is no limit to his skill set, and letting him go out in these different situations. And then the final piece, man, is the way he prepares. You don't rise to the occasion, you really just sink to the level of your preparation. And I think his preparation on a week-to-week basis rivals any back that I've been around.
You were able to get the team hyped up, the hype video going into that divisional round.
We don't understand the importance of the moment until the moment becomes a memory. Your moment is here. The moment is here. But it's not the moment that you think it's gonna be. It's not the moment when the zeros go out and we got our hats on and all that. But the moment is when it's bloody.
You really elaborate on appreciating a memory and a moment while it's here, not until it's fleeting and it's already gone. So what moment do you look back and you can take in and you really appreciate it right now?
The one that I can recall, and is where that conversation came from, was, Dan, before we get ready to play against the Vikings, we got the whole staff in our small, tight staff room. All of us are in there. We're in a staff meeting. He asked Kalevi to come in and take a picture of the group. And it was just kind of this really weird moment, but it was a great moment because the people that are around you that can identify those moments before they are fleeting, they're the ones that you have to pay really close attention to. So at that point in time, I just thought, man, it was great that Dan was able to understand that the moment that we were in, at that special moment,
was going to be one of the times that we looked back on as a staff and said, this is the week before we started our run. And man, to this point, he couldn't be more accurate.
You know what this process looks like leading up to, we'll say it, Super Bowl. This team is 1 win away. In 2010, you were with Pittsburgh as receivers coach. You made it to the big game. Looking at this Detroit Lions team, why is it built to play in a big moment like that?
We're tested. We've got 1-point wins. Unfortunately, we have some 1-point losses that we learn from. But collectively, I think we're really built for this. We can run the football. We stop the run effectively. There's a lot of great things that we do that is going to give us a great chance to finish this run.
We're gearing up for the NFC Championship game with head coach Dan Campbell. And I spoke with your assistant head coach earlier this week, Scottie Montgomery, when he talks about playing in these big games. And he's coached in a Super Bowl. He said it's the people within this organization, which is a big reason you're here. Why are we talking about people as much as talent right now with your Lions?
Look, you have to have a certain level of talent for those guys out on the field to be able to compete and play. We all know that. But inside of that, man, it's the people that have that ability, that talent, you know, and they're football players, and they need to care about the people around them. You need to have that more than you care about yourself. And I do feel like that's what we have, and it makes a difference.
It'll need to make a difference against these 49ers who, when they needed big plays last week against the Packers, they leaned on the dynamic playmaker of Christian McCaffrey, 98 rushing yards, 2 TDs. Coach, number one thing you need to limit when it comes to McCaffrey?
Population of the football. That's your best way to somewhat slow him down, because he is. Look, they do a great job. They always have scheme-wise. Shanahan, I think, is one of the best offensive minds in our game. But, you know, look, they'll stretch this whole thing. They give him the ball. It's a little light toss, make these backers run. And then backside, you can see them all. Look at them. They're just walling everything off and letting him set it up, put his foot in the ground, and go. And so he's got vision. He's got speed. He's smart. He understands how to set up blocks. He can run every route in the playbook out of the backfield. He can also line up outside as a receiver and do those things. He can protect. So he's just the most versatile, probably, weapon at the halfback position, or one of the best in this league.
I know his quarterback, Brock Purdy, who is in year 2, is very happy to have him, but he also has a weapon in tight end, George Kittle, who has been a staple in that offense the last 7 years. How do you limit that duo, which has gotten 49ers so far in this season?
Kittle has played at a high level for a long time. And to me, he is one of the best tight ends in the league. You could argue he is the best, all right, because he does everything. He can do this, he can catch, he's got run after catch, and he's an outstanding blocker as well. So he's an all-out player all the time. But they're going to find these where they get their matchup and say, all right, who's got the one-on-one? Let's see if we can get Kittle in a position where he gets one-on-one, and then there's your pick, Brock. You go find it and make a throw. And that's what he's done well. Purdy's playing at a high level, but this guy can go all the way.
On the defensive side of the ball, Nick Bosa, 10.5 sacks so far this season. That's low for him. 18.5 was his number last year. Yeah. What about his relentless motor sticks out to you and what he's been able to do this season?
Well, he came off of that monster year last year. He was also late to the party, you know, the contract, all those things. But I can tell you, here we are late in the season, and he's got it all back. He's got a relentless motor. He uses length. He's got a spin. He's got power. He can get under you with leverage. And he plays the run, by the way. But this is where he's dangerous. The sacks are one thing. These sack fumbles are where he really excels, man. He goes after the football. So, look, this guy's a handful. I'll tell you this, though, and I'm going to bring it up again. Our 2 guys, Sewell and Decker, if anybody can handle them, it's our guys. So we got a great test, but we'll be ready for this.
When you think about your Detroit Lions team, what sense of comfort do you have with your Lions going on the road in prime time and taking care of business like they've done all season?
I've got a tremendous amount of confidence, and our players should too. We are battle tested. We've been on the road. We've won big games on the road. We're built to do this. We can handle it. We're not worried about the stress. We just got to all be on the same page, on point, like we have all year.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
No one has a better seat to watching these Detroit Lions all season long than the Super Bowl champ and the radio sideline reporter for these Lions. It's TJ Lang. Yeah. I wish we could insert a clap from the audience. I feel like
it's about time you
need.
Invited me on the show. It's been years, so
it took us a minute to get it all together. I want to know what's been the most exciting part to reporting on these Detroit Lions this season.
Oh man, it's probably just got to be the anticipation. You never know what's going to happen. The fact that this team really has genuinely turned the corner. And you go into every game now really believing that they can win. You know, this team is so resilient and mentally tough, and I think a lot of that comes from not only the leaders they have on the team, but Dan Campbell. I mean, he's very shy when he takes credit sometimes about, how he's turned this team around. But it's so exciting as a fan, as a sideline reporter, and as a former player to watch what these guys are doing, because this is something we all wished we could do while we were here. No, we didn't get it done, but, being a little bit small part of it now and watching them win games and have a chance to do something really special is it's tremendously exciting.
Have you had to catch yourself on the sideline celebrating a little bit too much?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I still go into player mode sometimes, and I definitely last week, I think it was on the Amon-Ra touchdown, late in that game where I dropped my microphone. I kind of get a couple fist bumps.
You dropped the mic?
They're calling down for me, and I keep trying to get my mic, and so I definitely go into fan mode a little bit down there. But that's awesome. I mean, that's what The former player is a little bit different, but I think even as a fan aspect, like Dan Campbell and this team makes everybody feel so together. Like the fans really feel like they're a part of this thing, and I think that's a credit to not only Dan, but the players as well, making the fans feel like this. You guys are all in it together. I certainly feel that way. I know most of the fans feel that way.
Going back to last week, the offensive line. Why is that offensive line group able to play at such a high level every single week?
Well, it starts with the veterans that they have. Taylor Decker's been here a long time. Frank Ragnow's been here a long time. They set the tone on what expectations are in that group, and they're realistic because those guys themselves go through that. And look, in a perfect world, we'd love to see, the starting offensive line every single game. Reality is, you're going to get guys banged up a little bit. And I think that, maybe going through that process the last year and a half of having to have some extra guys jump in at times, that gives you the experience and I think the confidence to say, you know what, we've been through it before. We don't expect anything to change. It doesn't matter what our lineup looks like. Our expectation and our play needs to remain at a high level for this team to have success. I think they truly know in that room that this team and this offense goes how far that offensive line is going to take them. So it's credit to Hank Fraley too. I mean, he's done an incredible job developing some of the younger guys. Coyote Osika coming in and didn't really miss a beat offensively. I think that says a lot about the coaches as well.
After the Tampa Bay win last Sunday, we saw Aiden Hutchinson, the hometown kid, kind of take everything in as he was walking off the field. Played at Michigan, went to high school just down the street. You're a hometown kid as well. You got to come back here, play for these Detroit Lions. How incredible has it been for you to just watch what your hometown team, Detroit Lions, are accomplishing this season? I mean, it's everything. It's everything. And I don't know if we expected it maybe this fast when Brad and Dan took over a few years back. For me, I will say, I've got to play here for 2 years. I wanted to come back home to be a part of something like this. I wasn't able to get it done, right? A lot of players weren't. But you still feel like you're a part of what they're doing now. And so I think these players, these coaches, this entire team is giving us a lot of pride as former players. It's nice being a little tiny small part of that, being on the sideline and getting to watch it up close. I love that for you, TJ. Well, it's not about me. I mean, I'm not taking credit. There's so many alumni that played here forever that just want to be proud to play for the Lions. I think this team is making a whole lot of people proud. I'm glad they are. All right, that's TJ Lang. Thanks so much for stopping by finally. Thanks for finally having me. Wishing for something special? Maybe it's VIP seats, the meal of a lifetime, or an unforgettable journey. Whatever it is, Community Financial Credit Union can make it a reality. Share your impossible dream at impossibledreams.org by scanning the QR code at the bottom of the screen. Before we wrap up Inside the Pride, we've got to get to some Rogers retweets, and we're jumping right into this. Head coach Dan Campbell is getting his much-deserved credit for the culture he is building in Detroit. Greeny said so it must be true. I'll tell you what, you wouldn't know if these Detroit Lions were winning 3 ball games or 14. Dan Campbell is still going to go out and do his thing. Shout out to QB1 Jared Goff, who was giving lots of love to the defense after its performance against the Bucs, especially shouting out defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn. Football isn't over yet inside Ford Field. Detroit Lions are hosting the official watch party for the NFC Championship game inside the stadium. Doors open at 5 p.m. for a sold-out lower bowl. It is going to be awesome. Lots of Lions fans cheering on Detroit as they take on San Francisco. It's going to be a party here in Detroit, too. Thanks for watching this edition of Rogers Retweets. The Detroit Lions kick off against the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game this Sunday at 6:30 p.m. on Fox. So we'll see you right back here next week.